Hello YouTube, BenB998 here, and welcome to my 2023 Game of the Year video, or should I say Games of the Year video. Now before we get into the contents of this video, yes I am sick, that's why I sound a little different. Hopefully this goes away soon, but I might sound a little raspy through this video. 2023 was a year full of great games and a few not so great ones. This year's video will be split into 3 categories: honorable mentions, top 5 indie games, and top 5 AAA games. At the end of the video I will reveal which game was my true game of the year, but I can tell you now it will be the number 1 game from either of the top 5 lists. Hope that makes sense to you guys because it does to me. Starting off with my honorable mentions, and the first game on the list is Dredge, which you'll be seeing footage of in the background as we lead into the top 5 lists. Dredge was only a sliver away from making the top 5 indie games list, so I felt like I wanted to give it a little bit of extra love in this video compared to the other games in my honorable mentions. Anyway, here's my other honorable mentions. My Friendly Neighborhood, Starfield, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Super Mario RPG, Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Dead Space 2023, the remake, Hogwarts Legacy, Hi-Fi Rush, RoboCop Rogue City, Lethal Company. Now that I have my honorable mentions out of the way, we can get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Let's start off with my top 5 indie games of 2023. These games were made by independent developers and were awesome surprises in a year dominated by amazing AAA titles. In a few cases, some of these surpassed the AAA titles. Number 5. Amnesia the Bunker. Amnesia the Bunker is an indie horror game developed by Frictional Games and is priced at $24.99 USD. In Amnesia the Bunker, you play as a French World War I soldier by the name of Henry, in desperate search of escaping a bunker he finds himself trapped in while being hunted by a terrifying creature. The thing I loved about this game was the freedom of expression and the ways to defend yourself from the creature as well as solving puzzles. For example, you might find a locked door. To open it, you could either find a key, but you could also just blow it open with explosives or shoot it open with a shotgun to save yourself some time. Amnesia the Bunker is a very fun sandbox horror game that I would recommend to anybody who loves the horror genre. Number 4. Lunacid. Lunacid is a dark fantasy first-person dungeon crawler inspired by old FromSoft games developed by Kira, the creator of Spooky's House of Jump Scares, and is priced at $13.99 USD. Just like FromSoft games, Lunacid's story is mostly told through NPCs you meet and journal pages found scattered throughout the world. Combat is simple to learn yet hard to master with all the different immunities enemies may have as they adapt to your weaponry. As a longtime Dark Souls fan, this game hit all the right spots for me and I cannot recommend this game enough. Though I will say, if you want to 100% this game, be ready for a frustrating ride. Take that from somebody who has done this himself. Number 3. Shadows of Doubt. Shadows of Doubt is a detective life simulator developed by Coal-Powered Games and is priced at $19.99 USD. In Shadows of Doubt, you play as a freelance detective, solving randomly generated crimes in a fictional cyberpunk-inspired city. Shadows of Doubt is in early access and in its current state, aside from some bugs and frame rate issues, is a very fun and somewhat complete feeling game. The amount of times my mind has been blown by this game, I cannot even count on 2 hands. A phenomenal game that you can play endlessly. Number 2. Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver is a casual single-player adventure RPG developed by Mint Rocket and is priced at $19.99 USD. In Dave the Diver, you play as Dave, who is a deep-sea diver during the day, and at night you help run a sushi restaurant. This game scratched the perfect itch of a fishing sim as well as a diner-dash type restaurant simulator. Both game genres are perfectly synced and it's a highly addictive experience. Number 1. Lies of P. Lies of P is a thrilling Souls-like developed by NeoWiz and is priced at $59.99 USD. Lies of P takes the story of Pinocchio, turns it on its head, and sets it in a dark, elegant backdrop. As a lover of the Souls-like genre ever since the release of the first Dark Souls game, Lies of P is easily the best indie Souls-like I have played yet. The combat, characters, areas, bosses, everything really is just perfect. And without spoiling too much, but at the end of the game there's a teaser for a sequel that made me jump out of my seat. I cannot wait to see what NeoWiz has planned for the future. Up next is my top 5 AAA games of 2023. These games were made by well-known game studios such as Bethesda, EA, Xbox, and Capcom. Not saying these companies are on this list, but just giving a bit of context if you don't know what AAA games are. We got some great bangers in 2023 from these well-known studios, but also some great re-releases. Here are my top 5 AAA games of 2023. Number 5, Resident Evil 4 2023. Number 5 on the list is Resident Evil 4, completely remade for modern audiences in the RE engine, developed by Capcom and is priced at $59.99 USD. The original Resident Evil 4 is considered one of the best games in the genre. However, I could never get into it with the tank controls, planet shooting, where you can't move while you aim, and the lack of diverse color palette. With this remake, all my complaints I had with the original are changed into a more user-friendly control style, quality of life improvements on pretty much everything, and a more fleshed out story. I am in love with this remake. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is priced at $69.99 USD and is an exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. The Legend of Zelda is a series I hold very near and dear to my heart. I grew up playing classics like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker. In 2017, when Breath of the Wild turned the classic Zelda formula on its head, I fell in love with it and became my game of the year. Tears of the Kingdom pretty much improves on every system Breath of the Wild introduced and just makes the game better. If you loved Breath of the Wild, I highly recommend Tears of the Kingdom. Number 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is priced at $69.99 USD and is currently exclusive to PS5. 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man set the bar for future superhero games, and 2020's Miles Morales pushed it even higher. Now with Marvel's Spider-Man 2, that bar has been sent straight into the stratosphere. This game was pure fun and adrenaline from beginning to end. The story, characters, and fan service in the side missions kept a smile on my face for the entirety of the 22-hour campaign. For my fellow Spider-Man fans, this is a must-play. Number 2, Final Fantasy XVI. Final Fantasy XVI is priced at $69.99 USD and is currently exclusive to PS5. When it comes to Final Fantasy, I've been a fan for about 10 years back when I first booted up Final Fantasy XIV for the first time. I then started playing some of the fan favorites such as Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX, though I still have yet to play them all. Final Fantasy XVI was a masterpiece. The combat was magnificent and reminded me quite a bit of Devil May Cry 5, which was my 2019 Game of the Year. The story had me go through a massive range of emotions as well. It made me laugh, cry, even scared at times. When a game has you feeling most things most games don't, you know it's special. And FF16 delivered on that front. Number 1, Cyberpunk 2077 2.0 update / Phantom Liberty. Now before you say, Ben, Cyberpunk 2077 didn't come out this year, hear me out. Back in 2020, Cyberpunk 2077 released as a broken, awful mess of a game that, in my eyes, might as well have been in early access. But earlier this year, CD Projekt Red decided to, via an update and an expansion, re-release Cyberpunk in what I felt like as a complete state. 2023 was the year I actually completed Cyberpunk 2077 because of the 2.0 update, and I cannot express how happy and entertained this version of the game made me feel. Just talking about it here is making me want to start up another playthrough. Probably the best video game comeback since No Man's Sky. Okay, now that I've gone through my top 10 with you all, I think it's time to tell you my true game of the year. As I said earlier in this video, it's a game that I already talked about and it was unexpected because of the complications surrounding it, and that game is Lies of P. Lies of P came out of nowhere for me. I didn't even start playing it until November and I thought Cyberpunk 2077 had my Game of the Year nomination in the bag, but I quickly fell in love with it. Bringing a classic storybook into the Souls-like genre, in my opinion, is a random stroke of genius. The fact that it was also NeoWiz's first game ever as a studio blows my mind. For those who love Souls-likes, this is a no-brainer that you need to play, if you haven't already. And honestly, even if you aren't into Souls-likes but like the story of Pinocchio, I would say still play it. Anyway, I think with that said, I will end this video here. Thank you so much for the support in 2023, and I hope you stick with me in 2024. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.